Hello, folks, and welcome to another episode of the Cubs Line Podcast. I'm Ryan Dunleavy,
And I'm Ron Zelensky.
and today the Cubs won the rubber match versus the Orioles 5-3 on a Justin Turner two-run pinch hit walk-off bomb. How big was that swing for the Cubs?
Huge. I mean, he comes in there as a pinch hitter for Michael Busch. Big shoes to fill. He had a good day today. I guess Craig liked the matchup and big bomb to win the series. Loved every second of that.
Yeah, that was a huge win. Very shaky series, but the boys come away with a 2 out of 3 win. Should have been a sweep. They should have won that game yesterday, but 2 out of 3 is not terrible. Before we get started, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Mark's Card Shop. Thank you for sponsoring today's show, and thank you for everything. Go check them out at markscardshop.com. So I want to start off with Jameson Tyon, his recap of his start today in AAA Iowa. He was very shaky, not good to say the least. So I'm pulling up his stat line really quick. Sorry about that. Um, so I believe he went 4 innings, 7 runs. All of them were earned. He got hit super hard. Do you think Tyon should get another start in AAA Iowa before he's ready to come back up?
Definitely. You can't settle, 3 innings, 7 hits, 7 runs. You can't throw him back up after that. I think he needs, one, maybe even two more rehab starts.
Yeah, he looked very shaky today. There wasn't much control, and when there was, it was everything was over the plate. So obviously not what you want to see there, but hopefully he gets back to normal. And Miguel Amaya's been doing pretty good down there, so hopefully Miggy can come back up soon and give this team an impact.
Yeah.
So, Ryan, you want to get into the recap?
Yeah, so the Cubs win this ball game 5-3. Cubs move to 65-46. Baltimore moves to 51-61. So right off the bat here, Colin Ray gets the start for the Cubs. He gets Jackson Holiday to strike out looking, Westberg to fly out, Gunnar 2-out single, and then Adley grounds out. Bottom of the first, Cubs make some noise here. So Michael Busch, pop fly, looked like a can of corn. I believe the right fielder did too. I believe it was Jackson, I think, in right.
Yeah, it
And
was.
yeah, he caught it and everything, and then looked down. The ball was right there. Lost in the sun, maybe lost in something up there, but drops right at his feet. Bush able to get to second, and then Kyle Tucker playing some small ball gets a sack bunt, moves Bush over to third. Say is able to push a single to the right side, give the Cubs a 1-0 lead. PCA lines out to second, pretty hard hit ball. I thought it was going to get through, just a hell of a play, to rob him of a hit. Carson Kelly able to draw a walk there, and then Ian Happ hits a double to deep right field. Thought this ball was going to get out. Saya scores. Carson Kelly thrown out at home. How big was it to get those 2 runs early?
That was huge because their offense has been very bad all weekend. So to start off hot right off the gate is definitely ideal. I don't like the sound of Carson Kelly there because you got Willie Castro and Nico Horner coming up, who've both been very hot all series, and just pummeling on this pitcher, getting his pitch count up. I don't like the send there personally, but 2 runs is huge for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So top of the second, Jackson walks to lead off the inning. Nothing comes from that. Willie Castro grounds out in the second to lead off that inning. Nico able to get a single, knock a single to right. Michael Bush singles to right. So 2 on, 2 out for Kyle Tucker. He grounds out to second. And then at the top of the third, Jackson Holiday singles. Westberg flies out. Gunnar grounds into a fielder's choice. Jackson's able to come around and score. He was hit by a pitch to lead off the inning. Uh, and then yeah, so Gunnar was able to leg out a inning-ending double play, make it 2-1. Cubs go down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the third. Top of the fourth inning, Adley Rutschman leadoff double. Jackson grounds out to Dansby. Adley's able to get to third, and then Colton Cowser singles to right, scoring Adley Rutschman to make it 2-2. Bottom of the fourth, Cubs go down 1-2-3. Top of the fifth, a Westberg 2-out single knocks Colin Ray out of the game. He had a fine start today. So then Drew Pomeranz comes in and walks Gunnar Henderson, and then he strikes out Adley Rutschman to end that inning. Bottom of the fifth, Michael Busch walk, Kyle Tucker single with 1 out. Nothing comes from that. Top of the sixth inning, Orioles go down 1-2-3. Bottom of the sixth, Carson Kelly leads off with a ground out. Hap lines out. Willie Castro singles. Nico Horner singles. Dansby Swanson singles to make it 3-2. Just a little, little group single. Love to see those. What did you think after this Dansby RBI single? Did you think more runs were coming? It was gonna be a bigger rally.
I mean, I definitely hope so. Three two-out singles was definitely huge. Wish they would have gotten more, but I felt pretty confident with the lead and the way the bullpen's been throwing the ball. But they did need to get more runs.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. So then on the top of the seventh inning, Orioles go down 1-2-3. Bottom of the seventh inning, Kyle Tucker leadoff single, Seiya Suzuki singles, and then PCA strikes out again. Carson Kelly grounds into an inning-ending double play. Top of the eighth, um, Westberg leadoff walk, and then nothing comes from that. Bottom of the eighth, Cubs go down 1-2-3, and then at the top of the ninth, Daniel Palencia gives up a leadoff double. Carlson lines out. Mayo strikes out. So two out for Noda, the pinch hitter. He singles to right. Colton Cowser scores, ties the ball game up. Jackson Holiday then flies out to the shortstop. Tough break here, for Daniel Palencia. He's been really good for us. I'm not really gonna put the blame, on him too much. Not every closer is going to go out there and put up a zero every time they're out there. It's just not realistic. What were your thoughts about Daniel's outing today?
It was his first earned run allowed in 5 weeks, so I'm not mad at all. It happens. He still got out of it, and it was a tie game and give the Cubs a chance to win the ball game.
Yeah, 100%. So in the bottom of the ninth inning, Dansby Swanson hits a ball to third. Bad throw. It was a high throw. First baseman tried to make a jumping, like swinging tag on Dansby. Dansby was able to duck under it, so he's in there. Reached on air. That was the official ruling. And then Justin Turner comes in, pinch hits for Michael Bush. First pitch, fastball right down the middle. Ball game. Cubs win. Deep one to left center field. Great for Justin Turner. And yeah, I mean, so electric. What was your reaction to the Turner home run?
Yeah, I was pumped. Justin Turner's been a great pinch hitter all year for the Cubs. First pitch fastball, and he just smoked it. He's been very good against lefties, and I was glad to see that was his first walk-off career home run. So great moment for JT and the Cubs. That was a huge swing.
Yeah, it was awesome for sure. So now we'll get into the pitching for today. Colin Ray goes 4 2/3, 5 hits, 2 runs. They were both earned. One walk, 4 strikeouts. He threw 77 pitches today. He's at now a 4.23 ERA. Drew Pomeranz came in to relief. He went an inning and a third. No hits, no runs, a walk, 2 strikeouts. He is at a 2.05 ERA. Andrew Kittredge, how about him? An inning, no hits, no runs, no walks, a strikeout. He's at a 3.24 ERA. So back-to-back great outings for Kittredge in a Cub uniform. Brad Keller comes in after Kittredge, goes an inning, no hits, no runs, a walk, 2 strikeouts. He's at a 2.76 ERA now. And then Daniel Palencia does get the win, but also gets a blown save. That is his second on the year. He went an inning, 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned, no walks, a strikeout. He is at a 1.55 ERA. So, who is your player of the game for today? Or first, we'll get into thoughts about the Cubs pitching today, what they could have got done different, what they did well.
I was fine with it. I mean, that was a good start from Colin Ray. Not like his best start, not his worst, but basically 5 innings, 2 runs. I'm not gonna dock him. Drew Pomeranz looked good today. Nice bounce back start after he had a rough Milwaukee series, and Kittredge continues to look very good. 6 up, 6 down for the Cubbies so far. Brad Keller comes in. He walks the first guy, which I was mad about, but he strikes out too. He's been nails for this team. And then Danny P. I mean, he got hit very hard today, but that was one bad outing. He's looked very good all season. Glad that he got his first win at least.
Yeah, I agree with that. Again, no, not every closer is going to go out there and throw up a zero every single time they're on the mound. It's just that's not realistic.
Yeah, and then for my player of the game, I mean, you kind of got to give it to Justin Turner. Hit the walk-off home run and a pinch hit. That's mine.
Yeah, I mean, you could go Justin Turner coming off the bench hitting a home run. I'll go Nico Horner, 2 knocks on the day. He's still hitting the ball really well, hitting 295 now. He's almost at 300.
Yeah, it was nice to see Kyle Tucker with a bounce back day as well as he went 2 for 3. He's been struggling a lot as of late, but PCA really needs to pick it up. He went 0 for 4 today with 3 strikeouts. I believe yesterday he went 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts. So PCA needs to wake up, maybe give him a rest day or something like that to get him back because the Cubs need PCA back. Tomorrow they're facing a left-handed pitcher, so I wouldn't be surprised for a PCA off day tomorrow. Get him in the cages with Dustin Kelly. Maybe arrive to the field a little bit late. Can hit in the cages, and if you need him late in the game for a pinch hit, defensive change, pinch run, you could totally do that. Throw Willie Castro in center tomorrow, and that's what I would do.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, go Willie Castro in center, give him some outfield work. But yeah, I mean, we shall see. PCA is slumping pretty bad right now, but everybody slumps in baseball. We all know that.
Yeah, and he was so good in the first half. He just really hasn't had it. Like he just needs to find his consistency because he had a really good game 3 in Milwaukee, and then versus the Orioles, he struggled huge time. So he just needs to find his consistency. And I mean, he did play in the All Star game, so he didn't really get much rest. So maybe give him an off day or something, reset, have him work in the cages with hitting coach Dustin Kelly.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, real quick, I just want to talk about the Brewers sweep the Nationals this weekend. Not really any close games. Pretty brutal, honestly. So, obviously, you want to win every game, right? But this does kind of tighten it up to where it's like, all right, like it's not like bad losses. We're in August now, so bad losses like yesterday really aren't acceptable anymore. The Brewers are still winning games. I mean, what is like the importance? Like you got to clean it up now, and you got to, if you're up in the seventh inning, you can't lose a game. Like what is your thoughts on like the importance of just not you can't f up in the last 3 innings really anymore.
It's very important because you only got less than 2 months left of regular season baseball, and with the Brewers playing the way they are, they're unstoppable right now. So you gotta take advantage of every Brewers loss. If the Brewers lose, you 100% need to win that game, so then you can move up because the Brewers have the best record in baseball right now. And if you told me that a month ago, I thought you would have been crazy, but that's where we're at right now. So the Cubs need to win every day or else the Brewers are going to blow them out of the NL Central and going to win this by a lot.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. So, and then I want to hear your thoughts on the impact of Willie Castro, what he's done with this team, in his first couple games.
Oh, I love this addition personally. He can play every single position except first base and catcher, but besides that, he literally plays everywhere. He's a switch hitting bat, very good defensive change, pinch runner. He's fast. He can hit. I love what I've seen from him. And another thing that isn't really being talked about is he brings the juice as well. He brings a lot of electricity, and you love to see that. It gets you pumped up as a fan, as a player. He's just been bringing the juice and done what he's asked, and a great player, and I love this addition. Didn't have to give up too much for him either.
Yeah, I agree with that. We kind of knew, that he would bring, kind of he could play anywhere, but I mean, he's really hitting the ball lately. Like you said, he's bringing the electricity to this lineup. I love what I've seen so far from him. Hopefully, he can keep it up because I'm liking this Willie Castro.
Yeah, so am I. I really like the addition of him, and I think he needs to start playing more. And I know he's hitting seventh in the lineup right now, but if he keeps working, he definitely can be a 5-6 hitter when it comes to the games that matter.
Yeah, for sure. So sticking on, the offense. So the offense, except for today scoring five, they've gone really really cold, especially the top four. The top four of the order. What are your thoughts? I mean, PCA, right? He struck out, I believe, like 7 of his last 9 ABs or something like that. What do you think? Like changes need to be made, and just what are your thoughts about, how can they? Although the offense is cold, you got to work around that. So how? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, Craig Counsell needs to phase in off days, especially while now you got a guy like Willie Castro. So you give Tuck an off day, plug Castro into right field. You give Happ an off day, Castro can play left. Like some days, Saya can even play the outfield. He just needs to phase in off days and keep this lineup fresh and move it around from time to time because the lineup has been very stale. And if you move it around, that's how you're going to get more production. And consistently, the Cubs 7 through 9 hitters have been super good, no matter if that's Reese McGuire, Matt Shaw, Dansby Swanson, Nico Horner, Michael Bush, whoever's typically in that spot has been very hot. So they've been getting a lot of production from that 7 through 9 spot, and they need to get more production through the 1 through 3 spot, and especially start jumping on these teams early in the first inning. So what I would do is phase in off days and keep this lineup fresh.
I like that. Yeah. I mean, off day people got to rest, right? Like, you're playing 162 games in a season. It's not easy to go out there every day. So yeah, you got to get some rest, and I completely agree with that.
Yeah, you just gotta phase it in, especially because I believe it might have been 2 years ago when they were in the wild card race. They were projected to make the playoffs. They had a heck of a back season, and then just David Ross put out the same 9 every single day. So guys were just getting tired, and they had nothing left to give in that Milwaukee series, and they were just kind of done. And I don't blame them, because if you're playing every single day, like, you're gonna get gassed. But you just gotta push through it and phase in off days, and that's the difference between Council and Ross, and why we brought Craig to Chicago for such a high price.
Yeah, I agree with that. So now we will get into this week's Cincinnati Reds series. So it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday series before we go out to St. Louis. Monday's pitchers will be Nick Lodolo against Mike Soroka. Mike Soroka, 3-8 with a 4.87 ERA. First sighting of Mike Soroka in Chicago. So right now he's in the rotation. We don't know if that'll stick, or if he'll get moved to the bullpen eventually. What are you kind of looking for Mike Soroka? What are your goals? Like, what do you think would be qualified as a good start? What do you think he's going to be asked for tomorrow?
Before that, Ben Brown is officially in the bullpen now. I saw him in the bullpen today as they announced it, and we saw him in the camera in the bullpen. They put Brooks Krisky down, which I kind of expected. Him and Gavin Howell going back to AAA Iowa, which is totally understandable. I think Ben Brown could potentially be a weapon out of the bullpen. He does have a high velocity fastball and a nice curve. So if he just continues to develop pitches and develop that changeup, I think he'll be better off. And I think it's easier to develop pitches when you're in the bullpen as well. So I'm excited to see what Ben Brown can do in the bullpen. But as far as Mike Soroka, I just think he needs to give this team a chance to win a ball game. I'd say 6 innings, 2 runs would probably be 2 to 3 runs would be acceptable. He just needs to give this team a chance to win a ball game, especially because Nick Lodolo has been very hot as of late. He's been throwing the ball well. I could see a low scoring affair tomorrow, but Soroka just needs to give this team a chance to win a ball game like the Cubs brought him in for a high price to do.
Yeah, so as you said, so Nick Lodolo will go for the Reds. He's 8-6 with a 3.09 ERA. Another lefty. What do you think the lineup's going to look like tomorrow? And then do you think? I mean, do you think? Yeah, do you like? I'll just ask you, what do you think the lineup will look like tomorrow? Who's going to play third? And if we'll see any off days.
Probably a PCA off day, put Willie in center and Matty Shaw at third. And then I would assume that Carson Kelly would catch again because it's a left-handed pitcher, and then probably Reese McGuire catching on Tuesday because it's Littell and he's a righty. So that's my guess, because there's 2 lefties, and the lefties are Monday, Wednesday, and then you got a righty on Tuesday. So I assume it'll go Kelly, Reese, Kelly.
Yeah, I could definitely see. I could definitely see that matchup from Craig. So Tuesday night will be Zach Littell against Shota Imanaga. Shota is 8-4 with a 3.25 ERA, coming off the hot start in Milwaukee. He pitched really well, and then Zach Littell 8-8 with a 3.58 ERA. I believe this is his first start since being traded over to Cincinnati.
Yes, this is his Reds debut, so I'm sure Reds fans will be super excited to see what Littell can give them, because he was brought in from a high price as well and a very intriguing arm. So we'll see what he can do.
Yeah. So Wednesday, Andrew Abbott 8-1 with a 2.15 ERA. I mean, how this guy didn't make the All Star game, I have no idea.
Yeah, he
He
did.
Oh, he did. That's right.
Yeah, he did.
Or I meant in the conversation to start. That's my bad.
No, you're good.
So it's him against Cade Horton. Cade Horton 5-3 with a 3.42 ERA. Andrew Abbott started against the Cubs. We were at this game. He shoved. I think he gave up 1 or 2 runs before coming out, or he gave up none, and then they scored when the bullpen came in. But I think the only real goal is here to just work the pitch count, like like the goal was against Max Fried before the All Star break, or before the All Star break. Just work that pitch count high and get to the bullpen early. I think is really the only way that they're going to be able to hit him because I don't think they're going to be able to really knock him around.
Yeah, they really need to work Abbott's pitch count around because he is a stud and one of the best pitchers in the game today.
Yeah. So, what are your score predictions for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday?
So Monday, I'm gonna go a little bit of a higher scoring game. I'm gonna go. Give me like a 6-4 W. I'm gonna go. The Cubs will hit Lodolo pretty well. Soroka will have a solid outing. I think 6-4 dub. And then Tuesday, I like this, but I'm gonna go. I don't know. Give me 3-1 W. Littell will have a good start, but Shoto's gonna shove. And then Wednesday, Andrew Abbott's just a stud. I think they're gonna get shut out 4-0 L, but they're gonna take 2 out of 3 in this series.
Yeah. So I got tomorrow 4-2 Cubs. Just I think that they're going to be able to just score more. I think Soroka is gonna pitch pretty well. I'm hoping. Tuesday, I'll go. I think Shota's gonna shove. Littell might too. I'm gonna go like 2-1. I'll say 2-1. Pretty low scoring pitchers duel on Tuesday, and then Wednesday again, like you said, Andrew Abbott's an absolute stud. I don't like our chances in that game. That's why I feel like we need to win Monday and Tuesday. I'm gonna go 5-1 Cincinnati.
Yeah, some very good pitchers strong in this series. You get to see Soroka and Littell's debut. Lodolo's been pitching very well. Andrew Abbott, the stud. And then for the Cubbies, you got Shota Managa, who's their ace, and Cade Horton coming off some very good starts, and he's really starting to hit his potential.
Yeah, for sure. So now we will take a look around the MLB.
Alrighty, so you still got some games going on. I obviously, as you guys know, the Tigers will face off against the Phillies on Sunday Night Baseball. Chris Sanchez versus Charlie Morton on ESPN. The White Sox and Angels are currently tied 5-5. Neto hit a game-tying two-run double and a solo shot. Colson Montgomery stays hot with a three-run shot, his seventh on the year. I think he has 7 home runs in his last 9 games, so he's been on fire. Um, the D-backs are beating the Athletics 5-3. Corbin Carroll with an RBI single. Eduardo Rodriguez struck out 5 in his outing. The Padres are beating the Cardinals 6-0. Jake Cronenworth with a two-run homer and Xander Bogaerts with a sacrifice fly. Um, the Mariners are currently beating the Rangers 5-4 in the top of the ninth. Whoever wins this will win the series. Andres Munoz on the bump for the Mariners looking to close this. J Rod hit his 100th career home run, his 20th on the year. So congrats to Julio Rodriguez, a very fun young player to watch. The Red Sox beat the Astros today, 6-1. They end up sweeping the Astros in this weekend series. The Red Sox reached 62 wins, so they've been very hot. They might honestly win that AL East division. They've been playing some great ball. They scored 6 runs in the fourth inning, just moving guys over and getting them in. The Dodgers beat the Rays 3-0 in a pitcher's duel. Yashibu Yamamoto went 5 2/3 scoreless innings. The Rays did get his pitch count up, but Yamamoto still shoved, and the bullpen was very good. The Braves beat the Reds 4-2 in the NASCAR series. They resumed that game from yesterday. Eli White hit 2 home runs today. I don't know if you guys saw that. That was pretty cool. He hit a two-run homer and a solo shot. He was the player of the game. And then Rafael Iglesias got the save. Tomorrow for the Reds, Lodolo is going to have to do some long work because 6 or 7 Reds pitchers went today as it was a bullpen game. You got Suter, May, Mole, Barlow, and Richardson. So 7 pitchers went for the Reds today. So Lodolo is going to have to do some innings, get some innings, eat some innings. Sorry about that. I was just trying to figure out how to word that. But if you're Terry Francona, how do you manage that game tomorrow with the pitching staff?
I think you have to. So you're not gonna pull him early. Like I feel like there's gonna be a set, a pitch count. Like there's a chance, like the JMO outing that we saw in Houston. I mean, I don't know if it'll get that excessive, like 102 pitches in 5 innings, but I just don't think he's gonna pull him. Even like before the sixth, I could see Lodolo going into the seventh, even if he's given up like 4 runs, maybe. That's what I would do. I would obviously read the situation, but yeah, I would honestly, you know, see how he's doing. If he's good, you keep him going, and then I feel like maybe after, if he's at like we'll say 80 pitches in the sixth inning, then it's like all right, any sign of trouble, and we'll take him out, something like that.
Yeah, and then the Brewers beat the Nationals 14-3 to sweep the series. The Brewers scored 7 runs in the seventh inning, and Bryce Terang hit two-run shots today in their debut. Brandon Lockridge hit a 2-run single in his Brewer debut. The Royals beat the Blue Jays 7-4. The Royals 5-run 10th inning, so they brought him in. Sir Anthony Dominguez got hit pretty hard, so they win this one in 10 innings. The Giants beat the Mets 12-4. Rafael Devers hit a 3-run home run, and Young Hoo Lee with a 4-hit game. The Twins beat the Guardians 5-4. Jose Ramirez hit a 2-run shot, but that was not enough. Trevor Larnach with the 2-run single, and Royce Lewis with the 2-run double. They get the W. The Marlins sweep the Yankees on the weekend series. Marlins Park was packed, the most packed it's been in a while. They win this game 7-3. Edward Cabrera shoves, and Kyle Stowers with another 3-run shot. His 25th on the year. He's having quite the season. And then the Pirates beat the Rockies 9-5. Spencer Horwitz hits a 2-run shot. Tommy Pham 2-run shot. Jordan Beck got ejected in the bottom of the seventh inning. Just kind of the day that the Rockies had. Going in, obviously, we like to do standings on Sundays because it's the start of a new week tomorrow. The Brewers currently lead the Cubs 2.5 games in the NL Central. The Mets and the Phillies are tied for first place in the NL East. That'll be a very fun storyline as they both got top tier closers and got some lineup reinforcements. Both got new center fielders and closers, so that'll be a fun storyline heading into the end of the season. The Dodgers have a 3.5 game lead on the Padres. The Blue Jays have a 3 game lead on Boston, but Boston's 8-2 in their last 10 games, and they are on a 5 game heater. So who knows? Maybe they can surpass the Blue Jays. Do you think they will?
Ooh, that's a tough question. There's a chance, they're playing really good right now. They won. How many did they win coming out? Or
I think 13, maybe.
it was like 13 or something. So they have the capability of doing that. The Blue Jays are playing good ball. I could definitely see it happening. Right now, my prediction is going to stay Toronto, but I wouldn't be shocked if Boston wins that division.
Yeah, for sure. The Tigers have an 8.5 game lead in the AL Central, and then Houston has a 3 game lead on Seattle. If Seattle wins today, they'll cut it to a 2 game lead. And then the wild card, the Cubs have the first slot by 4 games. The Mets have the second slot by a game and a half, and then the Padres have that last spot by 3.5 games. The Reds are trailing 3.5 games, and then the Cardinals and the Giants are trailing 5.5 games. The Marlins are trailing 5.5 games as well. The Marlins, Giants, and Cardinals all really need to get hot and start stringing together some wins if they want a playoff opportunity. But the Marlins are on a 5 game heater right now, are 8-2. So who knows? Maybe they can string together some wins and surpass the Padres. I don't see it happening because the Padres just stacked up as well. But we'll see how that all plays out. And then the AL, Boston has that first slot with a 2.5 game lead. The Yankees have a game lead, and then Seattle has a game lead as well. Texas is trailing by a game. The Guardians are trailing by 2.5 games. Kansas City's trailing by 3 games. Tampa's trailing by 4.5 games. LA is trailing by 5.5 games. The Twins are trailing by 6.5. So the AL Central or AL wild card is going to come down to the last week for sure. NL will be more kind of set in stone. So now we'll get into MLB Pickle. Ryan, who is your first player?
Let's go.
Or it hasn't updated from yesterday. Not yet, at least.
Oh, it hasn't
I'll see if it is. I'm refreshing it. Yeah, it's still not done, so we'll just do Immaculate Grid for today. Sorry about that.
already.
First guy, Reds and Orioles, Austin Hayes. Uh, White Sox and Reds, Josh Harrison.
Damn, you're balling out.
Or no, Josh Harrison was not. That's my bad.
Wasn't?
I thought he was. I was he not on the Reds?
I swear to God, he was.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
interesting.
That is interesting for sure. Here's some tough ones. All teams today. You got any? Just looking at it.
Not right now.
Um,
This is a tough one.
yeah, it is. Trying to think of White Sox ones.
Yeah, me too. I mean,
White Sox and Red, or White Sox and Giants. You go Austin Slater.
yeah,
White Sox and Phillies. Tanner Banks,
there we go.
and then White Sox and Reds.
That one I really thought was Harrison.
Yeah, I felt like he played for the Reds. He might not have though. Um, I don't know. These are tough ones.
Yeah, this
I think Will Myers played for the Padres and the Reds. Do you
try
know?
it.
I'll try it. Yeah, he did.
Okay,
And then White Sox. I'm kind of lost on these other ones.
I am too. This is a tough one. We haven't had like
I'm gonna give them to you. It says Frank Robinson for O's and Reds, Ken Griffey Jr. for Sox and Reds, Tomei for Sox and Phillies. Will Myers was the most popular for San Diego and Cincinnati. Kurt Schilling for Orioles and Phillies. Will Clark for Giants and Orioles. AJ Pierzynski for White Sox and Giants, and Jake Peavy for San Diego and San Francisco, and then John Kirk for San Diego and Philly. So very tough one, but
yeah.
huge W for the Cubs today. Thank you guys for tuning into today's episode. Signing off, I'm Ryan Dunleavy.
Ryan Zelinsky.
And see you guys tomorrow in the next episode.